Everyone, it's Clint back for a much needed video. I've really thought over the past several months about like what's the point of my channel, because I honestly feel like I've said everything I need to say about the comic book industry, unless something comes up, here and there. And so it's difficult because I just feel like I'm repeating myself over and over. Same events, different events, but same themes over and over again. And ultimately, when I say that I think the cure is just to make good comics and compete in the same market that crappy comics are, I believe that. I want to put my money where my mouth is. Having said that, one thing about making comics that I think that's important in all creativity, if you're making something commercially, you're hoping to make something commercially viable, but you're also hoping to make something awesome. And how do you do that? I think that there's a level of risk taking involved. And I don't just mean monetary risk, yada, yada. I mean storytelling risk. And so, so I got thinking about, if I'm making comics, spending more time making comics, focusing on the art, I want to try making a book that that you could discuss every little element that happens in the book. And it's not that I overlooked it or forgot about it or something like that. It's that everything was intentional. And so you have to know that if you don't like it, that was intentional. Like, those were decisions. Obviously, I think you're going to like it quite a bit, but you'll know that it's not because of overlooking something. It's because of deliberate decisions. So this is what I mean. Something that I love about the genre of horror that's so interesting to me. I'm going to let this play, but without any sound. We'll see if that gets me demonetized. But I have seen, I don't think it's necessarily this channel, but I don't even remember what the channel was. I got into this kick of watching this particular channel that did a really good job of breaking down different movies. I think it primarily did horror films, and it would talk about what did it mean. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that every single movie out there has had that much mastery in attention to detail, that every single little thing was an intentional decision. I think there are movies that approach that, but I think sometimes critics can make stuff up that they don't see. So I thought making a whole movie would be difficult, but could I make a 50-page comic that I paid extreme attention to detail and had symbolism in small things, in the lack of things? Could I do that? And, for better or for worse, have somebody be able to review it or go over it after the fact with a fine-tooth comb and decide if my decisions were good decisions or bad decisions, but at the same time know that they were decisions all the same. They weren't just, neglecting to do something or overlooking something or, yada, yada, yada. And Dracula is that for me. So I had a lot of fun putting it together. It was very difficult to write. Some stories come very easily. Some stories come very in a difficult way. Dracula was difficult because I had to start and stop so many times with this in mind as to what are the symbolisms, what are some universal themes. And I mentioned on Twitter a few months ago, I hinted at some of the themes. I don't think that you're actually going to straight on see those. But I don't know. It's something to consider. Anyway, I had fun with this because with horror, I don't need to have an exact outcome. I don't need you to understand a certain thing. I don't need you to feel good and feel happy at the end. I have more freedom to make a statement, but in a universal way, and toy with emotions the best that I can. So that was really exciting. This is the first time that I have 100% done that, and come up with symbolism of my own. Now, there's symbolism in bugs. I decided to put some bugs in there, and I think that's an interesting concept. Life and death, and several other things. Cameras, pictures. Anyway, it was really fun to do. One other thing I noticed is that in writing the script, sometimes I'm going to go back to Dracula here. Sometimes I would write the script, I'd write a portion of it or write a draft of it, step away from it for a long time, like a month or two, and then go back to it and read it again with sort of a fresh eye and see, man, how does this hit me? I did that again when I finished the script, sent it off for lettering. Eric lettered it for the first draft, and I didn't even look at it for quite a while. I mean, maybe almost a month. When I went back to read it, at face value, it was kind of crazy because there were a few things that I wrote in script format that when you see them in book format, it plays out differently. For instance, I have a section of about 3 pages in a row with no dialogue, and not necessarily a close visual to follow. And reading that, it was actually unsettling in that I felt like there should be something here. And then I checked my script and there's nothing there. And the more I thought about it, I actually really liked that feeling of wanting something to hold on to and nothing being there. I hope that translates. That's just one example, but I have several things, and it was super fun to put together. And I don't know, that's kind of my thoughts behind Dracula. One other thing is that with Dracula, I've been pretty clear in many places to not call this a retelling of Dracula or revisiting Dracula or something like that. This is very much a love letter to Dracula. This is an ode, I think, is what I said on the back cover, an ode to a classic. So I'm not trying to be the new Dracula or anything like that. This is Clint Stoker's Dracula. It is absolutely paying homage to Dracula, and there are several things in here that are little nods to it. If you've read the book, if you've actually read Dracula, I think you'll notice several things that sort of point back to it. Really fun. So this was a hyper focus on, I guess you could say, maybe Easter eggs, not necessarily Easter eggs, but just little symbolism that will either send you back to Dracula, or it is intended to send some kind of overall message and creep you out, make you feel unsettled at the same time. So super fun to put it together. This is going to be launching soon, the 25th. So we're looking at 1 to 3 weeks from this Wednesday. I'll be launching the book. I'm looking forward to doing it, and I hope that you're there to back me up. I really appreciate it. The book's finished, and so we got to send it to market, get it out to everybody. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.